Okay, so this is Croft again with a new video. In this case, it's going to be the Cyberholic tutorial 1.1.11a. Because as you can see, under 1.1.11, we have just installed the blog plugin, resulting in our blog page, or my blog page. And in this video with the A inversioning, I'm the alpha. I'm just going to adapt the layout of this block to my needs, and then we are going to take a look on how to work with the featured images. If you can remember, I told you that if we go to block, that every block entry can have multiple images as entry, and this is just an array of those images that's going to be used later on. But before that, here it is. Where is it? Here, manage, under manage. Forget me, I'm still sick. Forgive me. I'm still sick. So here it is, featured images. And under featured images, we can upload one or multiple images. As soon as you upload multiple images, you get an array. No, that was wrong, because even if you just upload one, you can check if there is a featured image, and if it's in there, then show it or not. That's what we are going to do in the B video. In this 1.1.11a, we are going to adapt this layout together with semantic UI. So I go into the back end, go to my blog page, and it's going to be really, just let me see if I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to make it very, very easy, because I'm showing the last 10 entries. Big image header, how do you want it to look like? I think it's going to be like a big image, and then if there is an image, a big image, and then the header, very, very simple. Very, very simple. So for this, we go to the back end, into our Cyberholic blog. This is, if you remember it, the unforked, how do you call it? From the component, the code. Sorry, I'm still COVID positive. So, okay, this is my header. And first of all, it defines the posts coming from the component blog posts. Here it is. If you check on the component, there is the alias blog posts together with the page number. We will have to put that for the pagination later on. And we can filter the categories. I'm not going to do anything of this. And because we have already some entries, I'm not going to change anything of this. So let's start layouting. For this, how I do it is I simply copy the whole code so that I can rely on that. If something goes south, I can just put it back in there. Make some spaces, so it's just a duplication of the generated content, and we are not going to call it post lists. One thing to mention is that I'm not going to use the HTML5 structure that has been defined by the Internet Consortium, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, where you have to define header, article, item, etc. This is going to be very, very, very simple HTML without the semantic structure that is needed these days. So if you want to make it super correctly, then you should learn that and search for article headers, item, and etc. etc. That's quite important for professional websites. I'm not a professional, and this is not a professional website, so I'm keeping it very simple. And as I always say with Winter CMS, from here and beyond. So whatever you want to change or update, Winter CMS gives you the possibility to do so. What I want, first of all, is to define a segment. For this, I'm going to add a div. Yeah, my Raspberry Pi is slow again. UI segment. And I've already done it wrong because I want every post to be inside a segment. So I'm going to beautify this by putting it in here. So every post is going to be inside a segment. And then I'm going to remove this listing from the unordered list before. I'm going to remove the H3. I'm going to keep the the hyperreference in here because, as you can see, it fills out, coming from the post up here in line 10, the URL in here. And then you have also on line 13 the post title. So I'm going to keep it in here currently. I'm going to remove this p-class info. That's like if you have it in a category so that you can show in what category it can be found. I'm going to keep it like that. I'm going to remove, we are going to take a look at that in a second. Then we have the summary. And remove the li, the listing closing tag, and put it in here. I'm right now seeing for posts and posts. Where does this one come from? Where is the if for this? Because as you can see, it takes the no post message here in line 31. It takes the no post message coming from the component up here. And now I have to see where is the if for div if post categories count else and if. Where does this else come from? Have I already? I probably have deleted it already. So I'm going to remove this. You can keep it in there if you know that you are going to have. I mean, a block with no entry, it's quite strange, right? Okay, so just to beautify that, let me save this. Excuse me. Update the website. Update the website. At least the listing here, the bullet from the listing and the XX. Okay, here it is. As you can see, as we can see, the segment goes to the total page. Is that okay? Do I like that? Do I like it like that? Do I like it like that? I think I'm going to keep it like that. Okay. So what we are doing right now. So for posts and posts, put it in a segment and not an H. Am I going to put in the title? No. Let's get it on with H3 class equals to UI header. And before I put in the header, I'm going to put in a div class equals sub header. These both classes come from the Fomantic UI. And I'm going to copy and paste the post title from here into the just created H3 header. And the category thing, let me see. Sorry. If there are any categories, what there usually should be of your blog posts, then it's going to take that. These translations come from within Winter CMS. Also with the published ad, etc., and the date together with the date format. I prefer to use a twig extension that we are going to, a plugin called twig extension that we are going to install later on. But if you don't use the translation plugin, then this is one way to translate certain parts of the website. In this case, coming from Winter blog language post posted by line, where you can have the I don't know if it's the date and the category links. So what I'm just first going to copy the whole thing and put it in here as the subheader. Sorry for the flickering. My Raspberry Pi is at 100% of CPU and about 75% of memory usage. A small reminder to the Raspberry Pi Foundation to please produce a Raspberry Pi 400 with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Thanks a lot. So there it is. First blog post posted in blog on June 20, 2022. Sorry. I don't want it to be like that. So I'm going to add it in here, set category links, post categories. And then the category links is going to be, can I click on it? I can click on it, right? Yeah, but I don't want to have a, do I want to have a category overview? To be honest, because it's a professional, it's a personal website, I'm not going to put a link in there. I'm simply going to, first of all, we can make it like that so that you can see it. Category, that's the links for the categories. So if we do something like this, let's see what's going to happen. Post.categories. It's probably going to say, hey, this is an array. And you can't show it as string, so we will take a look at that. If it's really like that, I would suggest that it's not going to work, because if I have multiple categories, okay, so it spits out the whole category. No, sorry, the whole, what was it? The whole categories, sorry, out there. So we can simply, its main category, in its main category. This is the description. Where's the code? Where's the, am I blind or what? Category ID 2. Block, sorry. I was searching for some reason I was searching for title, but it's name. So what we want, I just want to show the name. I really don't care about the link. So I'm going to, I think it was like this. Let me see if it's .name. And I'm going to put it between some X's so that I don't know. So that I can see if it's going to work out like that or not. Ah, Jesus. Okay, it's not going to work because I once again mixed up the structure of the coding. I think it's going to be, or it needs to be like this. Because I'm in the post categories name. Is this correct? Sorry, Jesus. Like so many times I'm mixing up JSON with XML with this, with that, with, oh, it doesn't work. Okay, nice. So where's the problem here? I'm just going to, just give me a second. There's a plugin called dump within the twig extensions that you can dump the, what is it called? the variables. I haven't installed it. Let me just check it. Okay, we have within it we have name block. Why does this not work? Name block. Inside categories. Show me the post categories. Why does this not work like that? Okay, I'm going to duplicate this. And this is how you can see how a noob like me tries to find out. Instead of seeking how to call those variables with Google or whatever, I'm just going to put it in here. Oh, my head is burning. And to separate this, I'm going to horizontal row. I was just checking the line below, line 22. You can see it's going to define the variable category links, being post categories in map C. What is each entry inside post categories? And there it says C URL and C name. So I'm really unsure why this does not work. We could also use probably an indexing, but this is strange. Just let me see where my problem is right now. Okay, so we have this, we have this. Why does this not work? Name block, inside category. We have a post categories count. Okay, let me try something out. Hey, this video should be like 5 minutes only, and now we are already at, I don't know, 30 minutes or whatever. For post categories. No, sorry. Okay, I'm going to correct that in a second. Categories. Oh, what's wrong with you? I don't want to take a screenshot. For item in post categories. Close the for in here. Okay, for item and post categories, and then show me the item. Let's see if item name. There should be item. I'm just going to put it this way so I can test those out. So what I'm trying to find out now is why I can't loop through this array that it's presented to me. And in theory, it just should show the name being the key and the value block, but that doesn't work. And now it works like that. I can see here block, so I'm absolutely unsure why this does not work. Maybe someone can explain that to me. So first of all, we are checking on line 16 if there is a categories count. If there are categories, then loop through them. And I'm not going to call it item, I'm going to call it category. Category. And also down here. I'm absolutely sure, without knowing the map twig function here down here, I'm absolutely sure that this is exactly the same. That's saying, okay, just set up a new type for C with the content coming from the post categories, and then at the end join them again, so making a new array or what? Probably is going to be like that, because then down here we have categories are, and then you would have here something like an array, probably something like this, cat1, cat2, etc. So I'm absolutely unsure why this does not work like sorry, like I thought before. So I'm deleting these lines now, post published at. I'm going to try to remember that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. On the other hand, if you really have all the categories in here, you will later on be able to put in an anchor with a hyperreferer to the categories page, or each categories page. I'm not sure if I'm probably going to do a video about that, but it's not such a high priority. Okay, so here it is. Under blog, I have the title, then I have the block, and I'm going to put in here, I have the category name already in here. No categories. You know what? I'm going to remove this whole count, because I know that there's going to be always content in the categories. So I'm going to remove this, making it some bytes smaller. And after category, I want to have published at post dot published at curly brackets. Okay, so it's going to be like category name and then add category block add on. Maybe I'm going to change it, put the date first. I'm not sure. Let's see how this looks like. Okay. I'm going to change that. I'm going to put the published at first. And I'm keeping in English, even if my website is going to be in German. I just write in. It's going to work for German and English. Isn't that fantastic? So I don't have to translate that. There is a Winter Translate plugin that is fantastic. So if you have a multi-language website, then that should also work out of the box. What have I done? Where's this? Oh, sorry. There's this on, and I'm going to remove this date in block. We are going to change the type of date later on. And what we are going to do also now is there's the post URL and there's the excerpt. We are going to keep the excerpt. I can't remember the exact character amount anymore, but Winter works like this. If you do not have an excerpt, then Winter is going to take the first, I think, 500 characters, if I remember it correctly, from the HTML code or the entry of your block. There's also already some function inside Winter allowing you to do this and say, for example, truncate after 12 characters. Let's see if it was like this, because usually I use within the already mentioned Twig extension, the extensions plugin, there is a truncate function that even allows you to add some. Oh, I have an exception. What's wrong? Unknown truncate filter. Is it just trunk? Could it be just trunk? Wrong. With the Twig with the trig extension save it. With the trig extensions plugin, there is a truncate option where you could shorten your entry and then put read more button or whatever. That's what I'm going to do. Trunk doesn't work. I have to look that up again. But Winter has something like that, so that you can really just truncate text to whatever you need. So we are currently like this. Just let me clean this up a little bit. And at the bottom of the entry, of the block entry, we are going to have, just let me see, okay. As you can see, we have already shortened the code a lot. I'm going to put in here a button. It's in hyperreference to the post URL, post title. And we are going to call it clause equals UI. Let's put it a gray button. A blue button, because gray is standard. Blue button with the post title, with now you're going to learn some German. Weiterlesen. Weiterlesen. Yeah, that's I'm just going to keep it like this. Weiterlesen means read more, so you can have whatever you want in there. Let's see how this looks like. Sorry again. COVID is calling. So let's see where we are. As you can see, the code has been, I removed like 8, 9, 12 lines and kept it quite minimal. This really depends on how you use, what type of website you are creating. So it could be that you have empty categories inside a block, so then you could show them up, etc. Then you just have to ignore whatever I put in there. Okay, this weiter does not look so nice. I just keep it weiterlesen oder mehr lesen. Maybe I will change it later on. But also what I would like to change is the button is quite big, so I'm going just to use a small button. The next sizes, minor sizes, would be tiny and mini button. But here on the screen they are quite big. You have to, or I have to test them out on the mobile phone, because a part of having COVID, I also have fat fingers, and small buttons are not so easy to press. Okay. Another thing that I don't like is the segment coming from Fomantic UI. You have this border. So to remove that's quite easy. You just say here on line 12 UI basic segment. So it's going to remove that. And while it's refreshing, I just want to show you, see this small gap, and that's the main purpose of a segment. You can remove that by using the classes horizontally fitted or vertically fitted, or if you just use fitted, then it's going to remove everything. Okay, here below we have our old entries. Let me remove them also. This is the whole stuff. I mean, this is what we had before, and now it's way smaller. Okay, save it. And in the next video, I don't know if I'm going to do the pagination in the next video. I will see about that. Right now what we have is this. This is the result for today. We have the header, we have the date and the category, and then the text of the entry. I think the next video that I'm going to do is about how to install the Twig extensions plugin, so that you can... I don't like that button right now. I don't like it. Why don't I like it? Maybe I'm going to change that. Okay, so this is how I adapt the blog post. In the next video, I'm going to show you on how to install the Twig extensions plugin.